Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, welcome to a special edition of another episode of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me today. And I want to say thank you. I welcome each and every last one of you. If you are new to this channel and this is your first time joining us live in living color, I welcome you. And I also want to tell you to be encouraged to like this channel. Please feel free to subscribe to this channel. We have a combination of two things that I like to provide on this podcast, and that is education and then entertainment. Why? Because my objective is to provide those two things, to be able to give uh, the other side of the sport of boxing to all of the viewers, and that is the business side of the sport of boxing, so that we all can be educated. And when you like our content, let me tell you this right now, whether it be live or whether it be the published content that we produce and publish throughout the week, it reverberates all around the YouTube boxing community and also the entire world. We have a special guest with us today. I'm not going to hold you all too long, but I'm not going to also hold him up too long because I know he's very, very busy. He has a very busy schedule, and we appreciate the time that our guest is going to um, invest today with us. You know how we do, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury and members of the Roll the Tape film crew. You know that when we bring guests on here, right, we are respectful in our chat. You already know how we do. If you have a question or a comment that you want to ask or even portray to our guests, you know all you have to do is provide that contribution. And you know your contribution always enhance the audio and visual quality of the content through Super Chat. And once you do that, of course, your question and or your comment for our guests will appear on the screen. We have a very special guest with us today. I know that some of you just found out last minute, but I'm glad you all can still be with us, be here with us today. And this is my guy, better known as Uncle Jeff. He is the uncle of TBE, Floyd Mayweather. He is also the brother of the late, great Roger Mayweather and Floyd Mayweather Sr. I welcome to you all and introduce some of you to the man himself. Some of you may not remember seeing him around a lot, but he's always been here. All of us hardcore boxing fans, we know who he is. But or business of boxing that watches us and they're new to the sport. So we want to make sure that even they get caught up to speed, and knowing who our guest is. I'm doing way too much talking. Let me introduce to all of you, welcome to all of you, a guy that we know as Uncle Jeff. And we're going to refer to him as Uncle Jeff. He's my guy, one of the coolest guys I know. We have mutual friends, not just in the sport of boxing, but even outside of the sport of boxing. And I have to acknowledge my good friend who might be watching now. One of our mutual friends is my guy, George Hanson. So salute to my friend, Mr. George Hanson, here in my city, Philadelphia. But I'm doing way too much talking, y'all. Y'all want to hear me. Y'all want to hear Jeff himself. So I got him here. I'm bringing him on. My guy, Uncle Jeff. What's going on, Jeff?
How's it going?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good.
Man, I'm glad to have you, man. You could have been anywhere in the world, even today, Uncle Jeff. And I want to tell you, man, I appreciate you investing your time, not just with me, but also with the audience here, and the Roller Tape Film crew members. Can you hear me, Jeff? Think we've been having some technical difficulties, but we're gonna figure it out. Hey, we've done this before, ladies and gentlemen. When we had some technical difficulties before, we've done this before where we had to just, you know, uh, improvise, and we'll have to do that again if our dear Uncle Jeff is having
Yeah,
issues
yeah,
with
I'm here.
the audio. Oh, there you go, my man. There you go. Hey, could you hear
Yeah,
me, Uncle Jeff?
yeah. I couldn't hear you that first because I'll be getting a lot of interruptions with calls and things while I'm on my phone. So,
Oh, yeah. So do I.
but
So what I what I do, Uncle Jeff, is I hold on. I got you up here twice. Hold on, Uncle Jeff.
I'm on two. Uh,
All right, hold on. I took one off. Can you hear me
okay.
now, Uncle Jeff?
I can hear you, but it's echoing now.
I was echoing.
Um, I don't
All right,
know.
hold on.
What should I do?
All right, let me see something. Are we still echoing now?
Yes, I can hear it.
You said I'm echoing, Uncle Jeff?
No, not now.
All right, good.
We're
All
good now.
right, so we good now?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. We don't have a visual of you, Uncle Jeff. Your camera
How do
your
I get
camera
back
might
to
be
that?
all right, because sometimes what happens when you get a phone call, it messes up the camera view and all that kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I be putting my phone on do not disturb, Uncle Jeff, so I won't get no calls to mess it up. That's what I do.
Oh well, I never done that.
Hey, hey man, look, hey Uncle Jeff, we live. We just gonna keep it moving. We gonna be all right.
Okay.
We gonna be all right. Hey, Uncle Jeff, the viewership is increasing exponentially, and I have to start this off with an icebreaker. So I have to start the interview off the right way. I gotta ask you a question. One thing I like about you, Uncle Jeff, you joke around. You have a great sense of humor, man. So you're gonna like this question. All right, question number one. Just a little icebreaker. Why is Floyd Senior, your brother? Why is he great at everything? I mean, the guy beats you at everything. He's the greatest thing in the family. He's the funniest guy in the family. He's the fastest guy in the family. Why is he beating you in everything, Jeff?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. He's giving me credit for being better than him at one thing, and that's being funny. But everything else, he's better than me. He's better than everybody.
So he is unequivocally the greatest of the entire family, Floyd Senior.
Yes.
Awesome. And I'm asking you that because the viewers that's watching Uncle Jeff, they may not know that on your channel, and we're going to talk about your channel, the Mayweather Boxing channel on YouTube. But you and your brother Floyd Senior always go through competition, always competitive. You two guys, man.
Yeah, that's whatever. No matter what it is, he thinks he's the best. So I just go ahead and I just mess with him and let him win.
You let him win, Uncle Jeff,
Yeah, sometimes I do.
my man. We got a guy, my guy Lump. Thank you, Lump, for your contribution and your support to the channel with your super sticker. And ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Road to Tape Film crew, if you're just joining us live and live in color, we have none other than Jeff Mayweather here with us today. He is the uncle of Floyd Mayweather, TBE, as we all know. He's also the brother of the late, great Roger Mayweather and the brother of obviously the greatest of all time, the greatest poet, the greatest singer, the greatest dancer, and the fastest man in the whole family, Floyd Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather Sr. So let's start from the very beginning, Uncle Jeff. Most people may not know the entire family history. So I'll start with you. What made you want to be motivated to get into the sport of boxing when you were younger?
Um, to be honest, I never cared about boxing at all. I was just so close with my brother Roger. And being that I was his younger brother, I was more like his shadow. And so wherever he went, I went. And so one day he asked me, he said, if you're going to be coming to the gym every day, you might as well learn how to fight. And that's what happened. And I still never fell in love with boxing, but I felt that if I was going to represent my family, that I had to work hard. And so that's what I did.
Wow. Okay. So you started coming around in the gym, and your brother Roger, he said, "Look, man, if you're gonna start coming around here, you might as well learn how to fight." Did Roger actually train you on how to fight personally? Your brother Roger?
Um, he's worked with me on several occasions, but he never really actually trained me for a long period of time.
Oh, okay. Okay. So basically, it's in. I mean, boxing has been a part of your family almost basically all your life because your brother Floyd Senior, he was also a professional boxer along with your brother Roger Mayweather. So
Yeah.
you've been around boxing all your life, basically.
Pretty much. Yes. Floyd Senior was the first one to get started in boxing, and he has a typical story. He got in trouble at school, got in a fight with actually got in a fight with his teacher, and so he was taken to juvenile, and he had to choose to either stay there or do something with his time. And it just so happened they had a guy there that was teaching boxing, and he he decided to box, and he fell in love with it. He fell in love with it so much that he turned his boxing name into Joy because he said boxing gave him joy more than anything.
Wow, awesome. See, these are things that we didn't know, Uncle Jeff. A lot of people didn't know the backstories, and that's why I always like to start at the very beginning to lay the foundation for the audience to understand, where you are and how you got to where you are today, and even
Yeah.
young Lil Floyd, as y'all call him in the family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when Roger started fighting, would you say that Roger was motivated to box too because of the oldest brother of Floyd Senior?
Well, I think I wouldn't say he was motivated because just because Floyd did it. I think boxing was more, it was a sport more for him than even it was for Floyd because Roger stayed in trouble and he loved to fight. So it was the perfect fit for him.
And then you came along. So you were also an amateur boxer and a pro as well, right, Jeff?
Yes.
So all three of you, Floyd Senior, then Roger, and even you even became a professional fighter. So I had a
Right.
question. I had a question for you because we have a lot of fighters, particularly amateur fighters, who's trying to break their way into the business that are a part of our audience as well here on the channel. What was the transition like for you, being an amateur, having the family name, having that Mayweather name and that shadow following you around? What was that transition like from being an amateur to jumping right into the pros? What was that like for you? That process.
Well, it took a little longer for me because basically, like I said, I never cared about boxing. But like I said, I mean, the name was already out there, so I had to work hard. But I went to college first and got my degree before I even. decided to box. But it's funny because I was watching guys on TV, watching like Shane Mosley, Oscar De La Hoya, all these guys like that, and and I said to myself, well, maybe I should give it a try. It was like right after I graduated, and my mom was like, she like, you ain't. I know you didn't go to school. You going to box? And I said no. But what ended up happening when I went to college, I came back, found out the way she found out was my name was on the front of the Grand Rapids Press that I was returning to boxing because I had told her that I wasn't going to box anymore. But yet, that article kind of killed everything. And so then later on, she realized that she was watching when I come home from college, she would like washing my hand wraps and washing all my boxing equipment that she used to do. And so, and then I had to fess up to it and let her know that. But the reality to me was that I've seen these guys on TV, and I said to myself, I want to do this while I'm young enough and give myself a real chance to see if I really can do something, or or I'm I'm gonna feel a certain way about not having ever boxed on a professional level. And so I said, let me throw myself into it and see how far I can go. And when I'm done, I'm done. I walk away.
Wow. I mean, no one knew, or at least my audience knew this, and neither did I until just now, Uncle Jeff, that you said that you went to college, you graduated. What did you major in?
Graphic design.
Graphic designer. Isn't that interesting? Wow. So the news article, that's basically that was the outlet that dimed you out to your mom, basically.
Yeah, that guy was a snitch.
You said the guy was a snitch. They snitched on you. So, all right. So now you were able to say within yourself, "Hey, I'm gonna give my 100% to boxing in this way as a fighter." But you walked away at a time where it was comfortable for you. You know this better than I do, Uncle Jeff. That a lot of fighters they get into the sport of boxing, even as a professional, and they don't know exactly when to walk away. But
Right.
you actually knew when it was your time to actually walk away. So when you walked away, at some point, you thought about becoming a trainer. What was that transition like coming from being a professional boxer and then having the process of thinking, you know what, maybe I want to train fighters? What was that process like?
Um. Okay. I'm gonna go back a little bit further first in how my transition into the pro boxing happened. Okay. When I was walking across the stage to get my diploma, my brother Roger called me and he said, "Are you coming to Vegas?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay." And so he flew me into Vegas. And the first thing he said is, I went to his house and he had a bunch of cars and he pointed to me and said, "That car is yours." I said, "What you mean that's my car?" And then he said, and then he took me to an apartment and he said, "That's where you're gonna be staying." And I'm like, "Staying what?" I said, "I'm just coming here to visit." He said, "No, you ain't coming to do this." He said, you come here to box." And then he took me to a jewelry store and said, "See that guy right there? That's your man." And so I kind of like just accepted everything and stuck with it. And then you know, everything was in place, and I guess there was no reason for me to say I don't want to do it. And now this is my opportunity, you know, to take that chance to see how far I was going to go. But my transition as a trainer, I actually fell in love with because one of the first fighters that I ever trained in boxing was a good friend of mine, and um, I took him all the way to a world title fight, and and like I said, this is my very first fighter. So I said to myself, I think I belong here, and so I fell in love with the side of boxing as a trainer, but not so much as a fighter. Um, I did okay as a fighter. I mean, I got a minor world title, but it wasn't the title that I wanted. But still, I represented some organization, and so I was proud of that. But when I got to the other side where I started training fighters, yeah, my passion it showed up, and that's why I'm still in boxing. I mean, all these years, by having my degree or anything else, I used my degree probably one time, and that was I helped design like some jewelry for my manager, and that's basically the only graphic thing I've done. And since then, I've been stuck in boxing.
I mean, that's a blessing. I mean, Jeff, I mean, what you said, and I know that we have viewers all around the world that can attest to this. We all wish we had a brother, a cousin, a friend, particularly a brother like your brother Roger, who flew you out to Vegas, made sure you already had a car, told you this is going to be your car, took you to a place and said this is going to be where you're going to be living at, took you to the jewelry store and said this is going to be your boxing manager. You're coming out here to box. He was basically setting you up to be a professional boxer, so to speak.
Yes, definitely. But I think more so it was our relationship because, like I said, we were so close growing up. I think he missed it just as much as I did. And so when he seen an opportunity to have a way for me to still be around him, I think he just in his mind he said, "Oh, okay, well, you're gonna stay here by becoming a professional fighter." That's how close we were.
Wow. So as a trainer, and you just being so close with your brother, and obviously your other brother, Roger, not Roger, Floyd, Mr. Floyd Senior. Just all three of you guys being around each other. What was the environment like for all three of you guys, you, Roger, Floyd, in the good old days, talking about boxing? Like, did y'all ever have those conversations like who your favorite fighter was and who would do this to this fighter and like regular boxing talk that we all
No,
have
no, yes,
today?
yes, we did, but it's kind of funny. It's because Floyd Senior, is a lot older. So me and Roger would sit down, and by this time he had already turned pro. So we sitting down, we're watching fights, and Roger saying stuff that to me don't seem real, but he had that kind of confidence in himself. You know, basically we was watching the Olympics, and Roger you would see certain fighters, and he'd be like, "I'll beat him," and I'm thinking to myself, you know, because I mean I don't know the process of Olympics or anything like that, so I'm thinking like, dude, you crazy, you can't beat them dudes. So and and basically he never did get a chance to really fight those guys. I mean, he did fight Colonel Whitaker, but what I'm saying is that he achieved a lot more than a lot of those guys that ever went to the Olympics. You know, he became a three-time world champion. So I mean, that's a big deal. You know, and he went up 3 weight classes.
Yeah, I mean, most of us hardcore boxing fans, we know this, but your brother Roger, God rest his soul, R.I.P. Roger Mayweather, he was truly the Mexican assassin, so to speak.
Right.
Where did that name come from? From him just dominating and defeating all the Mexican fighters that they put in front of him. What made did he dub himself that, or did the media call him that? Like, how did that name come up for him?
I'm pretty sure it probably came to someone saying it probably at a fight or something or announcer maybe. But yes, it became um one of his boxing names. So
The
and
Black Mamba being another one. The
and
Black Mamba, of
yes,
course.
yeah, he fulfilled it. He had just one Mexican that he couldn't get past, and that was Julio Cesar Chavez.
Chavez. Chavez. Yep. Chavez.
Yeah. And later on down the road, Julio Cesar Chavez, me and him became really, really, really close. And actually, because I was a part of his training camp. About I think I did maybe 3 training camps with him, and so me and him became really, really close. And it's funny. One time he did tell me that when him and Roger was fighting, it Roger had hurt him one time so bad that Roger hit him again, and he woke him up. And
Mm.
that was in their second fight.
Yeah, we've seen that happen a lot of times in boxing, where a fighter gets hit and they be a little bit discombobulated for a minute, and once they take another hit, it actually wakes them up. And you brought
Right.
it up, Jeff. We remember seeing this with Sugar Shane Mosley. He hit, Floyd, your nephew Floyd Mayweather, and
Hmm.
when he hit him, Floyd is so great at having awareness that he had enough awareness to be able to hold him and get his bearings together. And then he
Right.
got hit again. He never went down, and his legs buckled. But it seemed like when he came out of the corner of the resting period, it actually woke it actually woke
Right.
Floyd up.
Sure did.
And after Floyd woke up, we seen what happened to Sugar Shane Mosley after
Yeah,
that.
everything changed.
So from a trainer standpoint, now at this point, you are a trainer. What are a few
Hmm.
things that you look for? Let's say if a prospective boxer, let's say a novice, comes into the gym and say, "Hey Jeff, can you train me?" What are some of the things that you look for as a trainer before you give the green light to say, "Yes, I am going to train this particular fighter"?
Well, see, that's the one thing about me. I don't have to see a green light or anything like that. If you ask me to train you, I'm going to train you. Then I'm going to see, and I'm going to give you probably 2 weeks of just me and you training. Then I'm throwing you in the ring,
Wait a minute, hold on.
and
Hey Jeff, hold on one
that's
second, Jeff. You wait. I want to make sure the audience can hear you. You said after 2 weeks of training with you, right after that,
mhm.
you're going to throw him in the ring.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. That's the old school
because
way, Jeff. That's how we all learned the old school way.
yeah, because the thing is this: if you get out of that room and you say, "I don't want no more. I don't want no more of this." I just found out that this ain't for you. But if you get in that ring, and even if you get your butt booed, and you say, "I want to get that. I'm gonna get that guy back. I got to get him back." That means you ready. You ready for boxing, and that's all I need to see. From there, then we can work, and we can work up into the point where you are going to be able to deal with that person that was in front of you.
Yes, sir. That's a good point. Good point. And that's the way that the old school trainers would basically gauge to see if a person had enough heart or not. You
Right.
know, um, it takes a lot of courage. I was just talking to a friend of mine earlier about that. It takes a lot of courage to really get in the ring. But before you get in the ring, though, there's a lot of different things psychologically that you have to process to be able to say, I accept what I am going to have to deal with before you even put hand wraps on, before you learn how to throw a jab. There's so many different decisions that need to be made when you first walk into a gym as a fresh rookie. And then if, like you said, after you get thrown in the ring, y'all call it the Lions Den over there in Mayweather's
Right.
gym. Y'all call it the Lions Den over there. Once you get in there, you're on your own, and you got to
That's true.
do what your trainer taught you to do. And so Jeff, the fans want to know this. Can you name about 3 or 4 fighters that you've trained over the couple of years, all the years basically you've been training? Can you give us throw 3 or 4 names out of guys you trained?
Um, Shannon Briggs, um, Sav- I mean, Celestino Caballero,
Hmm.
um, um, wait a second. He's got to, what's his damn name? Oh, hold on 1 second. I'm back. Thoughts in the Bragamo. Actually, all three of those guys that I just told you about, they were all my two champions. They were those three. I made all three of them champions.
Oh, Shannon Briggs.
Yeah, I worked with
Wow.
Shannon. Yep, worked with Shannon for about 2 years, year and a half. Then I worked with Salastino for about 5 years.
Mm.
Worked with Sultan Ibrahimov for about 2 years, and then he actually ended up beating Shannon Briggs for the fight. And no, I work with multiple world champions. Some I worked like Stevie Ford. I had a female that had 6-time world champion, Jessica Rakosi.
Yep.
Um, I work with Chop Chop,
Chop Chop Curly.
Chop Chop
Mm-hmm.
Corey.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Um, Kelvin Concrete Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I broadened my horizons and I started working with MMA fighters. So I had a few world champions there too.
Okay, quick question, real quick, Jeff, and I'll get to the
Hmm.
super chat. Stevie, did you? I'm not sure if I saw you on TV or you were just there. The TV show The Contender. Now I'm going back, man. I'm going back almost
Yeah,
20
long
years ago.
time.
That's 17 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So I've been in boxing a long time. So Stevie, was you training him when he was when he won that tournament there on the Contender out there?
No, you know what? The first person that trained him was Roger.
Oh,
Steve
Roger
Ford.
trained him.
Yeah, he's the only person that has trained with all three of us. And me and Floyd fought against each other. When he fought Oscar De La Hoya,
Yeah.
I was in the corner, and Floyd was in Oscar's corner. So, um, yes, it's so funny that when Roger first seen Steve, he said, "This kid right here is gonna be world champion." But I didn't see nothing special in him. But Roger did, and and he did. He became the world champion. You know,
I,
and
I was
and and then I worked with him, and and we fought for the title again. So he did well. Steve did real well for himself. You know,
Yeah, I remember seeing you in the corner. I just wasn't sure, so my timeline was off. It wasn't the Contender. It was when he fought
no, I wasn't. I wasn't there. I wasn't with him then.
because that was earlier
Um,
on. That was earlier on in his
yeah, that
career.
was yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I got my guy, one of my day one supporters here, Mr. Aaron H. Muhammad. Salute to you, Mr. Aaron. Salute to you and thank you for your contribution in supporting the channel. Mr. Aaron says, Manager Marty asked brother Jeff if he recalls Roger putting that shiner on Lou Duva's eye when he tried him in the ring. Great interview.
I I remember it was with Pazienza. Yeah, I think it was with Pazienza. They was managing him, and yeah, Lou Duba was running out of there, running out of the corner, acting like he's getting ready to fight Roger. So Roger swung on him and hit him.
And Lou Duva, rest in power and rest in peace to him. He was a manager and, of course, a trainer because his brother Dan Duva was a promoter. And I think they still run through Dan's wife now, Kathy Duva, over at Main Events.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but speaking of Roger Mayweather fighting in the ring, we recall when Floyd and Zab Judah, they're friends today, so it's no beef. But Zab Judah and Floyd Mayweather, they were fighting in the ring. Zab Judah decided, I don't know if it was out of frustration or not. He had a long history of being frustrated and doing certain tactics. And he actually hit Floyd with a low blow first. And then he came right over the top and hit Floyd in the back of the head.
Yes, I remember that.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Roger jumps in the ring. When Roger jumps in the ring, Zab Judah's dad, Yoel Judah, jumps in the ring. A melee ensued, and all HELL hockey sticks basically just erupted in the ring. Of course, your brother was fined a lot of money. His license was suspended. So was Zab Judah and his dad. What was that process like getting Roger to get back into the fold of boxing while you were still training? Of course, Floyd Sr. was still around because he couldn't really earn a living as a professional trainer and be in the corner and do the things that he loved to do. What was that process like for him during that time, where him and Leonard Ellaby went through that situation, being
No, I
suspended.
mean it was tough for him. It was very tough. I mean, 'cause Roger loved boxing, So um, and they commission hit his pockets pretty good, but for
Yeah,
about 300,000.
yeah, $300,000
So
he was fined.
yeah, and so um, I mean, he still was around at the gym. He could come to the gym and stuff, but he just couldn't really do anything.
Yeah,
So I mean, he still had the same passion for boxing just to be around it. But you know, but but he, the good thing was that you know for a junior at this time was just starting to get to where he's making millions of dollars. So basically, if Roger needed anything, I'm sure that Roger did really well with his own money.
yeah,
So he didn't necessarily need no money. He had a great manager, Billy Baxter,
yep.
who who took care of Roger, and he took care of Roger in this way. He said, "Every time you fight, I'm taking a percentage of your purse, and I'm going to sit it aside." And basically, what he did, he invested a lot of his money and helped him, where he was secure in boxing. I mean, probably after Roger won his first world title, he was set. He was already set because he had somebody that he had a great manager that looked out for him more than just throwing him in the ring. He actually said that I don't want no fighter that I've ever worked with to walk away from this sport of boxing because it's too tough to not have anything. And so he looked out for him. And he was a billionaire anyway.
Yeah, and we see a lot of the residue of that happening with the great Al Heyman, and of course, linking up with your nephew Floyd Mayweather, and how even the fighters over there at PBC, and even with Al Heyman that signed to him under managerial contract, he makes sure that they're secure with making investments outside of the sport of boxing, so that when they're done with their careers, they will be able to have a sense of security and knowing that financially they're straight. Opposed to, we see a lot of legends still walking in our streets today who don't really have too much to
Right.
show for it. And it actually sad, really does. Salute to my guy Joseph Swab. Always a pleasure. Thank you, man, for your contribution and your support to the channel. Jeff, not only were you into boxing as an amateur professional, transitioning to a trainer in boxing, training MMA fighters, but you also took a stab at being a business owner, owning your own boxing gym. Most people do not know that. Can you tell us how you got
Um,
started with owning your own boxing gym, Jeff?
well, basically, I was kind of chosen. Um, I think it was more because of the Mayweather name. And the guy, he basically came to me and said, can I put your name on this thing? I said, yeah. And he said he'd pay me X amount of dollars. And I said, yeah. And so, but it it worked out well, but it didn't last very long.
Mm.
And so, and basically, me myself, I just walked away from it because I mean, um, it was a gym, and there was probably maybe about 60 boxers in that gym throughout the day, which in most boxing gyms, that's a lot of people. But when you have a gym that's 5 times the size of my nephew, it looks like there still ain't nobody in there.
Woo.
And so basically, um, it got to a point where, um, it was, to me, it was like he was trying to blame me that, the gym wasn't full. But nothing there but boxers. And he was like a kung fu guy or something. And basically, now on the flip side of boxing, there was like maybe 3 people, and so I mean he put the blame on me, but it wasn't my fault. And so, once we sit down and talk, I just said, "Let's go." I said, I gotta go, man. I'm not gonna be a part of this anymore. And so I went back to my nephew's thing.
Yeah, that was a very smart move, and also the fact that you had somewhere to go back to. I know a couple of people that took a crack, so to speak, at owning their own gyms, and it didn't work out quickly. Not even like they were doing it for a while, it didn't work out. It was like quickly. It's
Right.
very hard to operate a boxing gym. It's not easy.
No, I mean, boxing is it's a hard way to make money. I mean, um, as a trainer, as a gym owner, and sometimes even as a fighter.
Yeah,
This is a sport that you get from it. I mean, what you work for, and so that's why you say you see some legends, that's on them streets, and don't really know what to do. I mean, it's a very, very sad story. And, but one thing about boxing is this: boxing is not like any other job.
nope.
There's no pension. There's nothing. Once what you make is what you take. So it's a very, very tough business to be in. And so I mean, you got to be on the grind. I mean, even myself, I'm on the grind. I mean, right now, even at my age, I'm training. I'm still training 10 fighters. And that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I gotta live.
Yep. Yep. Very good point, man. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the business. As you know, I'm a boxing manager, so we're
Mm.
right we're right on that trail. And we have my guy, Mr. Pragmatic. Salute to you, Mr. Prag. Thank you for your contribution, your encouragement, and your support to the channel. Mr. Prag says, please ask Jeff Mayweather his opinion on certain boxing pundits always saying the PBC is out of money.
PBC?
Yeah, there's a lot of people, Uncle Jeff. Uh, they 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 be in the comment section on certain channels, including mine. Uh, some people have their own boxing channels on YouTube. They have been spreading mis and disinformation, talking about the PBC is always out of money. They're going to go broke. They've been going broke. All these different things that they share to the fans. So my guy, Mr. Pragmatic, is basically asking me to ask you, what is your opinion about people always saying that the PBC is out of money?
Well, I mean, I don't think they're out of money. Um, I mean, first of all, they gave Al Haymon over $1 billion. So, um, and he's still doing his job. I mean, he's bringing fights to the table. I mean, some and he's not making probably not making biggest fights that like he was earlier. But I mean, he's still bringing fights, so he's doing his job. And I mean, and kind of like when Don King was in the business. I mean, we took that same strategy. So he probably has more fighters than any other promoter, which means that if I got I got guy number one, number two, number three, number four. That's all in-house money. So I let these guys fight each other. It benefits PBC. It don't benefit nobody else. So I can't see how he can be losing money. When you have almost all the fighters.
Uncle Jeff, as you already know, Uncle Jeff, this channel is based on providing real, true, honest education to the fan base of boxing. I've been telling people the same thing over and over again. Hopefully, they listen to you now, Uncle Jeff, because I know some of them are watching. But I told a guy, not going to even say his name and give him no credit today, but I told a guy who was on this panel, I told him that PBC and Al Heyman, they have way more fighters that they have signed under their banner, um, more than De La Hoya at Golden Boy and Top Rank put together. And
Right.
Showtime's boxing budget is extremely larger than ESPN's budget. These guys, they don't want to listen to me when I talk about the business. And when I say these guys, I'm not talking about my audience, the ones that's here live and live in color. I'm talking about the other boxing channels who hate your nephew, who hate Al Heyman, who hate PBC, who have all of these different lies and fake rumors that they share about, all the parties involved that I just mentioned, because they really don't want to acknowledge when a person is doing good business. Okay. And so you know how hard it is to make a living. Let me reframe that. You know how hard it is to make a dollar. Forget a living.
Right.
It's hard to make a dollar in this business, no matter what your position is, let alone making a daggone living off of it, Jeff.
No, that's true.
You know, so so
But
so now that you've been exposed to the business aspect of it, I know there's people on here that would want me to ask you, so I have to ask you, what are a few things that you don't like about the business side of boxing? Or is there anything that you don't like about it?
um, well, I don't know. Boxing is one of those sports that um it's easy sometimes to take advantage of someone, and then there's other times where you have um a situation where a person that makes way more than what they worth. So it's a business, and basically, you know, um, I don't mm, I don't say it's bad because I think that anything that you sign up for, you need to study it before you decide to get into it. And basically, and sometimes it works for you and sometimes it won't. And I mean that's basically what it is. I mean, boxing is tough, tough, tough. I've said it, and I live in it. So it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a tough business. And being a manager is really tough. And I think people don't understand all of the nuances with being a manager. You had mentioned the contributions that your brother Roger's manager made, you know, in investing in his career. Can you tell
Hmm.
the audience, understanding that process from Roger all the way to your experiences nowadays, and all the things you've learned in between that time from the business aspect? Can you share with my audience how important it is to have representation in this business? A manager, a good promoter. How important it is to have good representation?
Um, it's definitely important to have good management, and strong support group because I mean, the one thing is, if you have a good manager, you have someone that's not necessarily with you just to make money, but someone that's helping you get to the money, and and basically, as a manager, you got to do a lot of spending of your own money to get a person to where you need them to be. And so, you know, um, that's one thing about boxing is that you know you need that manager representation. Especially to the person that's has a great business mind. They can make things happen for you. And I mean, but the other part of being a manager is that when a fighter starts for nothing, you got to support him. You got to go in your pocket, to help him and help
Yeah,
him get started. But so I mean, it's tough being a manager too. It all depends on because I mean, like I said, I mean, as a manager, there's no guarantee of anything.
nope.
You know, you just happen to see someone or somebody brought someone to you and said that this person is going to do this person is going to do that.
Yeah.
And without a manager, a lot of times that's just tough. Because the one thing is this: first of all, the fighter has to prove himself, and in order to be able to prove themselves, they have to have a manager that at least is connected enough to make things happen for them.
Yeah.
Because if they don't make nothing happen for them, basically we're just living off me. I mean, I was a manager for a minute. I mean, but it wasn't for me. Because I mean, I was going broke.
Hmm.
But when you get a good fighter and you have a fighter that actually does something down the line, you, I mean, the money finally starts to kick back to you. But I mean, it's a blind investment. With no guarantee. So I mean, I understand it. I've been there.
Yep. Yep. Well, I because of that, Uncle Jeff, and the monies that even I've invested as a manager over the years, I had to change my job description. Now I'm an advisor.
Say it again,
I,
now.
I,
Say
I,
it again.
I, I said, I said, I'm piggybacking off of what you said, Uncle Jeff. You used to be a
Uh,
manager too. You understand how it is, like you called it a blind investment, where we have to put
yeah.
out our own financial resources, in
Right.
hopes of this fighter going to different levels in this business. I said, so that's why I had to change my job description and my job title, and now I'm just an advisor. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. The advisor is nice.
Yeah, just call, just give me a call. I'll consult with you, and but you got to pay me up front now. No
Right.
more the back end purse money. You know what I'm talking about, right, Uncle Jeff?
No, I'm definitely. I'm not a back end guy no more.
No, I need all mines up front nowadays. Ain't nothing personal. so So, and that's one of the good things about the business of boxing that everybody can eat, Uncle Jeff. Everybody can eat
Right.
off the pie. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Now, there is something that happened. I have to mention it. You already know it. You were there. There was some disinformation being spread about this. So I wanted to clear the air with you because you were actually there. Most people that talk about it wasn't there, but you were there, Uncle Jeff, when Errol Spence Jr. and your nephew Floyd Mayweather had a sparring session. You were there. Can you tell the audience what transpired?
Um, I can tell you what created that situation where everybody, said that Earl did this and Earl did that. But I
Okay.
mean, I think everything was taken in a way where you can twist it however you want. Because the one thing that happened was this. First of all, Floyd had already did about 6 rounds, and then he went in the ring with Earl, and then they did about I think they did like maybe 3 or 4 rounds, and I mean it was nothing special at all. But you got to realize Earl was just coming back from the Olympics, and this is what made um, the situation where I think it is today, where everybody thinks that Earl did something or whatever. It wasn't that. It wasn't that he did anything. What happened was this: after Floyd and Earl got done sparring maybe about 3 or 4 rounds, Floyd was tired. He's human too, and basically he said he didn't want to go anymore. And Earl said, "Let's go 3 more, or let's go some more, or whatever." I don't know how many rounds he said, but he said, "Let's keep going." And Floyd said no. I mean, his gym, his decision, and basically everybody took that as Floyd didn't want no more. But that wasn't the case at all. Because Floyd didn't. I didn't see Floyd spar 20 rounds before. But I mean, it's his choice to do that on which day he chooses. So and that's all it was. I mean, and I think that people took it in a way that you can make news of it. Because I mean, realistically, I don't even think that was Earl's intention. I don't think. You know, but it happened.
Okay, because people had a lot of different viewpoints on what happened, and saying Earl blacked Floyd's eye, put him in the hospital, broke his ribs. I mean, I've
But
heard all. Yeah, I'm just telling you what
it was.
I've heard all kind of stuff, man. About that's why I'm
It,
glad that
ain't-
you
it,
clarified that.
it was never nothing like that.
Yeah, because this is
Like
what
I
they
said,
were
I
saying.
mean, it
This
was
is
just a regular workout.
yeah,
Like I said,
yeah,
what he said afterwards, that's what made people think that he either dominated for it or he was winning. But he wasn't doing nothing. They was, I mean, they was basically working. They both were just working, And I mean, don't get me wrong. And I mean, it I mean, you see a young kid. Because I mean, in the sense of him working with Floyd, he was basically a young kid just came out of the Olympics,
yep.
and basically, and his bravado was like, "Yo, come on, let's keep going," and that was taken as out of context.
Right.
That's it.
Hmm. Yep. And Floyd understood the dynamic of being young and sparring a legend because when he was 16 years old, he sparred the great Pernell Whitaker.
Right.
So when you in there with a younger guy who's hungry, especially coming off the Olympics. Oh man, shoot, he want to go 35 rounds.
Right.
Speaking of Errol Spence, and I'm not going to hold you too long, Uncle Jeff. But speaking of Errol Spence, um, you you did several interviews about it. I'm not sure if the people here watching us live and live in color heard your interview, but I know you're going to give a backstory to it. What was your take? Crawford versus Spence, July 29th in Vegas, of course, at home for you. I know you saw the fight.
Um.
What's your take on the fight in itself, man?
Well, I mean, to me, I thought, you know, the fight was going to be a whole lot closer, and I think everybody did. But the one thing that I always said was this: once Earl has to go backwards, Earl's going to be in trouble because Earl is basically a fighter that walks you down and beats your ass. And if you can't stop it, that's what's going to happen. You're going to lose. You're going to lose by getting knocked out, or you're just going to lose by getting beat up. But in that second round, um, Crawford stopped that coming forward. And once he stopped that coming forward, the fight was over with. You know, and I mean, I really like both guys. I know Earl really well. You know, I don't know Crawford that well, but I mean, I like both guys. And I did think that Crawford was going to win the fight, but I just didn't think it was going to be like that dominating. You know?
Understood. Well, Uncle Jeff, you know that there's a rematch clause. We don't know exactly when the rematch is going to happen. We don't know if it's going to be at 147 pounds. We don't know if it's going to be at 154 pounds. We just don't know at this point. You are a a a a, a trainer, a former fighter. You are an expert. You know what you're looking at when you look at it. In the rematch, I mean, is this one of those situations where, hey, it's the rematch, it's going to end the same way it did the first time? In your expert opinion, do Errol have an opportunity to look better at 154 where he's not struggling to make the 47-pound weight? I mean, what are some dynamics involved in the rematch from your perspective as a professional trainer and, of course, someone who put on a pair of gloves?
Well, there's two things I feel about that. One is this: I think that Crawford is, he's getting to that point where he's ready to cash out. And I mean cash out, I mean bigger fights than the rematch with Earl. And so what he said is this: okay, we can do the rematch at 47, where Earl wants no part of fighting at 147 again. So basically, that kind of eliminates the fight. It's like saying that I'm not gonna fight you because he's ready to cash out fighting Charlo and then Canelo, and then walk away from the sport. And the one thing, the other side of the point is this: is that even if they fought at 54, I still would lean toward Crawford, because the one thing is this: as a fighter, once you stepped in the ring with someone and got punished, because that wasn't a easy fight. That was he got punished. And so what I'm saying is that in a fight like that, once that starts happening, it's an easy way to get out of it. And that's basically I ain't gonna say quitting, but you will give up. I mean, because you ain't gonna take that same whipping again.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is this that um he now looking for uh a different trainer, a different. I mean, but the trainer you had got you to be where you was. So what's wrong with him? I don't understand that. I mean, I hate when fighters try to blame, put the blame on the trainer. When I mean, it wasn't no problem when you became undisputed world champion. It's the same guy. But now you finally got a loss on your record, and all the blame's on him. Blame him for the win. I mean, that's just one thing that's one thing that I don't like. I don't like that for any fighter. I don't like that. I mean, I believe that if you feel that there's something else that you should be doing, talk to the trainer and ask the trainer, hey, look, let's bring somebody in because we need to work on this particular thing that didn't work for us. I mean, add somebody to the team. Don't get rid of the guy that took you where took you to your highest level.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And we see that happening all the time in this sport, especially Jeff, and you know this better than me. When professional fighters take their first loss, right? Usually,
Mm-hmm.
when they get their first loss, not all the time, but some of the time, when they get their first loss, they want to point the fingers at who caused them to get the loss,
The same.
opposed to themselves.
They want to point the finger. They want to point their finger at the same person that put them in that position that they're in there. That if a loss meant something, it was because of that person. Because that person got you there. I
So,
mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've stepped in with many fighters. I mean, when I was hired by Celestino Caballero, he was world champion, and I mean, I was grateful and happy to step in, but I didn't know what the reason was behind anything. I mean, he had lost a fight, so it had to be some other personal reason. I would think. I don't know, or death or something. I don't know,
mhm.
um, but to me, I was just happy to take the job. And then with Tanner Briggs, his manager reached out to me, and and so I don't know what the problem was there either. I just sometimes you just happen to be the guy that's called in,
Right.
and I didn't know what that situation was, but I mean, you know it worked out. It worked out well for me. And then um once again, I was one of those trainers that was called. I know why I was called this time because with Sultan of Baltimore, when he fought for the when he fought for the title eliminator, and when he fought for the title eliminator, he was fighting. If he was to win that fight, he was going to fight Shannon Rhodes. And so what happened there was he was fighting Ray Austin, and Ray Austin was like a 9-1 underdog, something like that. And when I trained Ray, I told Ray, I said, look, I said, I know how to beat a small guy. I mean, Ray's 6'6". This guy is 6 foot. So, you know, I worked on what I know about fighting a smaller guy. And so, and it was cool because we didn't have no yaysters, you know, people who are stroking your ego and all that BS. And so when the fight happened, then the fight ended up being I think it was a split decision, and it went to Sultan. And then now with them, I knew what happened. What happened was I was the reason why they didn't win. So they reached out to me, you know, for Shannon, for them to be able to fight Shannon. And so, and by that time, I had got to the point where, yeah, I'm finna go with the other team, and we're gonna fight. You know, we're gonna fight Shannon. You know, and to me, I had what I call one of those Emmanuel Stewart moments. You know, when you train somebody, then you turn around and you get a chance to beat that same person that you trained. You know, and that was my highest moment in boxing so far. I mean, you know, and on the highest level, you know, heavyweight champion. You know, I had both two heavyweight champions that I trained both in the ring at the same time, and was able to get both of them a win at separate times. So, you know, and so that was, to me, that was probably like my crowning achievement. But like I said, I mean, when I understand if you bring somebody in because in the situation that I did, I mean, because the way a guy that you had, it was the odds was like 10-1, and he almost really won the fight. Fight could have went either way. Yeah, somebody didn't do their job, you know. And it's funny because I ain't gonna say no names, but the same two guys that was in his corner said, Jeff, you know your guy ain't gonna last for more than about 30 seconds. I said, yeah, okay. And so what ends up happening, of course, my guy didn't last 30 seconds. He lasted 12 rounds. And actually, really, should have won the fight. And the guy that was being trained by them, he acknowledged it as well. And basically, they reached out, you know. I mean, so, I mean, I feel honored to be chosen, you know, because, like I said, I mean, sometimes in business, you just don't really know, you know, if you appreciate it or not, you know. But like I said, I mean, when my very first fighter that I ever trained, I took to a world title, and by this time now, my name has been out there a little bit. So, I mean, these are type of things that's supposed to happen for me, and and it did. So, and like I said, I've had two heavyweight champions of the world. I had two undefeated. I mean, not undefeated, undisputed. I had two undisputed champions, and I had other champions as well. And I mean, I feel I've done well in this sport. But I mean, it's still it's still going. It's still going. I have a young kid that's 16,
Mm.
and he fights all combat sports. And in all those combat sports, he's 67.
Mm.
So yeah, so he's a very special fighter, and I'm very honored to be training him, and I think that our future is bright, and that now all of a sudden I'm feeling like I did when I had my very first fighter that I took to the world title. All of that has came back to me again. So I feel good about this sport.
Man, that's always a great thing because it's hard to get that feeling back once you lose it. So, I'm glad to hear that you got that feeling back. And you might be onto something, Uncle Jeff. You might just be onto something with this kid.
Yeah, I hope so.
There's a question from Gregory Quarterbaum, another supporter of this channel. Salute to you, Greg. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel. Gregory Quarterbaum says this to you, Uncle Jeff. There is a narrative that PBC and Errol Spence were kind and generous and gave Crawford everything he wanted. I say it was all done within the negotiations. What say you? That question is posed to you, Mr. Uncle Jeff. What do you say about PBC and Errol Spence being very kind and generous to Crawford, giving him everything that he wanted, or was that actually a part of the actual negotiations?
Um, well, to me, it seemed like those two solidified the negotiation more than anybody because they got on the phone and talked to one another about the fight, and they made their own negotiations. So I don't know necessarily if PBC had that much to do with it, other than just the fact that they were part of the promotion. Because I mean, they made the public knowledge that they both made the fight.
Yeah, they just probably needed the other pieces to just put it down on paper and ink the deal. But
Right.
they actually talked and they looked like they got it squared away.
Yeah, because at
But
first they were saying they was struggling with going through PBC, and and then they just sit down like two men and watched everything and worked it out.
and I agree with that, and I also would agree that Spence basically told all the people that represent him, get a man what he want. Let's get this fight done. Just whatever he
Right.
asks for, just go and give it to him. Let's just get it done.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the best way to do it because I mean, if you're going to make a big fight, because that fight was just as big as Hearns and Leonard. I mean, these two young guys. But and this is the kind of fight that if neither one of them would have ever took the fight, they would be talking about each other for the rest of their life
Yep.
and other people we'll be talking about both of them for the rest of their life. So they took care of business. They did what they had to do.
Yeah, that's that's basically what it was. And the thing about it is, when you got two fighters that want to fight, I always say this over and over again. When you have two fighters that want to fight, they fight in this business. It's just very simple to me.
Right.
They fight. It's just that simple. All right, I
Right.
have to leave
And
you with this.
sometimes,
Oh, say it again, Uncle Jeff.
no, I was going to say, I mean, sometimes that's all it takes is a phone call.
Yep, yep. Totally agree. And I've seen a lot of things like that happen behind the scenes where it's just a matter of a phone call and then the deal gets done. It happens.
Yep.
I'm going to leave you with this last question, Uncle Jeff. I appreciate your time, man. Man, I had fun, Uncle Jeff.
Yeah,
Man,
me too.
appreciate it. You know you got to come back, Uncle Jeff.
Yeah, that's no problem.
All right, so you were involved in another misunderstanding on YouTube. I have to bring it up since we brought up Crawford's name.
Hmm.
People misinterpreted you as saying that Crawford was better than your nephew Floyd. That they attributed that quote directly from you. Can you clarify what you meant when they were asking you to compare Terrence Crawford to your nephew Floyd Mayweather?
Well, to be honest, I don't know. I don't know who put something like that out, but I know how sometimes you talk to certain people, YouTube that have YouTube channels or whatever, they'll twist your words. And basically, because I had one guy that did that, and I already told him, I said, I'll never interview with you ever again. And seemed like he was a nice guy, but then took my words and twisted. And so, I don't know who. I mean, first of all, that's my family. I'm never gonna go against my family. I don't care. I don't even care if I think that wasn't. I don't care if I think Pop is better than him. But I don't think Pop is better than him. I mean, Floyd. I mean, the one thing you gotta realize is this. I mean, Floyd fought a whole lot of so-called Earl Spence fights. Crawford had one big Earl Spence fight. I mean, a lot of the other guys, I'm not saying that, I'm saying that they're bad, but I don't know them, But I mean, the guys that Floyd fought, I knew him. I knew of them all, but then again, that could be just because he's my nephew. But at the same time, I know he fought more than one guy that had the status of Earl Spence and defeated them all. So, basically, so I'm not going to say that he's better than my nephew. How come I'm going to say he's better than my nephew? I mean, there's no Manny Pacquiao in this era. There's no Oscar De La Hoya in this era, or fighters that, even Janelle Hernandez. I mean, these type of fighters. I mean, when you go and you look back on Terrence Crawford's record, I'm not trying to shoot him down either, but his competition, as far as what they did, I mean, don't compare to the same name that my nephew fought. I like Crawford. I like Crawford too. I mean, but I'm not. I mean, I'm not. I'm not going to pick about my nephew.
Right. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the thing is, even if somebody did try to say that, let's say Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather and all, even if they did try to say that, they won't have any evidence to substantiate that.
Right.
So, it would be just a mere opinion.
I mean, but don't get me wrong. That's one thing about boxing. I mean, everything is based on opinion. So I mean, all the guys that ranked in the top 10 is basically based on opinion. I mean, because
yeah,
how else could you rank fighters?
facts. Gregory Quarterbomb, another contribution to the channel. Salute. He has another question for you, Jeff. Thanks again, Greg, for your contribution. Gregory Quarterbomb asked this question to you, Uncle Jeff. Do you think the weight and its specific stipulation about written notification was designed to benefit Spence?
I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't know. But if Spence is the world champion, undisputed, that's his right. So if you feel that way, it's probably right. It's probably right because I mean, he's the guy that got all the belts. He got to be the one to call the shots.
Yep, that's just how the business is designed.
Yep.
There's a guy. There's a guy in the chat. He actually gave the first contribution to the channel, but he did it in a super sticker form and not a super chat form. And that's because I know who he is, and he's not tech savvy. So I think what happened is he gave the donation in the super sticker, but he didn't put the question in there. But I do see the question now, and I want to leave this question. I do see the question now, so I do want to be fair to him since he did, contribute to the channel financially. He asked this question to you, Uncle Jeff. What about the snack program? That's his question. What about the snack program? Or what do you think? I guess, what do you think about the snack program?
I'm gonna be honest. I know nothing about it at all. I mean, I've seen people advertise it, but I know nothing about it at all. So I wish I could tell you something, but I don't.
Awesome. Uncle Jeff, man, it's been a pleasure. I don't even want to hang this thing up, man. We got the viewership here increasing exponentially. Support to you, Jeff. Before I let you go, I have to make sure that I let the audience know where to find you. I'm already a subscriber already. I'm sure some of the audience might be as well. You have the Mayweather Boxing channel on YouTube, correct?
Yes.
You do the bold predictions and big fights. I like how you do that, and you use Mr. T reference. I like that, man. So they can find you on the Mayweather Boxing channel on YouTube, correct?
Yeah.
Y'all, please make sure you subscribe to the Mayweather Boxing channel. Please give the Mayweather Boxing channel your viewership. Give them your support. Great content. You'll love the way they do the bold predictions and all kind of great things that Uncle Jeff have on the channel. Please go support him. He's a supporter of this channel. Uncle Jeff, give us your last words. Is there anything else you want to leave us with? The floor is yours.
Bye.
You got it, Uncle Jeff.
You can't leave no better than that.
It don't get no better than bye. Uncle Jeff, thank you for bringing Your personality, your honesty, your integrity, your love for the sport of the game over to my platform and helping me, helping me give the educational pieces to the puzzle of the business of boxing, man. Thank you for your wisdom. Just thank you for gracing us with your presence today, Uncle Jeff. I'll call you a little later on, and I hope you have a
Okay.
great day today, Uncle Jeff.
All right.
All
All
right, my
right.
God. Thank you, Uncle Jeff. Appreciate you, brother.
All right. Bye.
All right, that was the great Jeff Mayweather, the uncle of Floyd Mayweather. I had fun. Did y'all have fun? I hope you did. Um, I'm glad that Uncle Jeff came by, and graced us with his presence, man. Really a good guy. Really a good guy. I've talked to him on the phone for several weeks. Really good guy. We were just trying to get our schedules aligned. He's on the West Coast, obviously, you know that. I'm on the East Coast. So we just had to make sure we put it together. I did all of this to make sure that all of you get a piece of the wisdom and knowledge and experience of the great Jeff Mayweather. Salute to Mr. Pragmatic. He put the link to the Mayweather Boxing channel in the chat. So please feel free to go over to that channel. Please click on the like button, subscribe to that channel, support the Mayweather Boxing channel. Um, I just want to leave you all with this because I have your attention live and live in color. Did y'all see the fight Joe Joyce fight, man? That guy Zing came out, man, and y'all heard me talk about that. I think on Friday when I did a live, um, when I did a live on Friday, someone sent the super chat and asked me what I thought about that fight, and I called it, and I basically was saying, as long as Joe Joyce don't stand directly in front of Zing, try to bang with him, that he needs to just move around and just gain Zing's respect a little bit instead of just standing right in front of him because it's going to be a carbon copy of the first fight. And unfortunately, it was. He definitely got last night in that fight. Richardson Hitchens. He is somebody that you all need to watch out for. Zapata did all right as much as he could, but he was no match being outboxed by Richardson Hitchens. Richardson Hitchens is on the scene now. Y'all watch out for him. I'm telling you, this young man, and I'm not just saying it just in this fight. This was his biggest fight of his career thus far. But I mean, even in his previous fights, he has the goods. He's next up, man. I want to make sure I leave y'all with those two things. If I'm forgetting something else, tune back in early this week. I'm going live all over again. I got content that's going to be dropping. I got two more pieces of content I'm going to drop, at least one or two. Of course, the live is one. I might drop another piece, part two of that first video that I put out there today and published from the live that I done on Friday with the Terrence Crawford fan. We have part two of that that's dropping probably within another hour or two. So y'all make sure y'all look out for that. And another short. I'm gonna drop another short probably an hour after that. Just trying to stay busy with the content as we're growing, and the viewership with the growth is what? Increasing exponentially. So I appreciate all of you joining us live in living color today. Please like this video. It's not too late. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. If you already subscribed, please click on that bell icon. You can do that right now. You don't have to wait so that you can receive the notifications. Most of the time, I'm hearing from subscribers and friends of mine that they're not receiving the notifications. And so I encourage all of you, click on that bell icon. And when you click on the bell icon, it's going to give you different options to personalize. Just click on the word all. And then hopefully that'll allow you all to get all of the notifications as quickly and swiftly as possible when I produce content and when I'm about to go live, when I schedule them. I'm just excited to do this. We have cracked. If you missed Friday's live, there's a short that's circulating right now of an excerpt that I did on Friday. We have cracked 1 million views, over 1 million views on this channel, and it's all because of you all, regardless of whether you like me or not, whether you agree with me or not, whether you are a fan of this channel or not. You are a part of the viewership of cracking over 1 million views in under 1 year and in under 100, excuse me, in under 400 videos. Let me say that again. I just messed everything up. That was a plug. Dag, I messed it up. All right, so I'm going to say it again. So we've gotten 1 million views, under 400 videos published. And that's with the combination of live shorts and videos published. And with over 6,100, almost 6,200 subscribers in less than 1 year. So I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate your contribution with your time first and your monetary resources. I look forward to seeing each and every last one of you earlier in the next week coming up. I will give you advance notice on the next time I'm going to go live. But I also want to tell you right now, don't forget to get on the lives, because we're going to start putting that link out now. I'm going to start throwing them links out more often, because we're going to need some interaction. Don't forget to comment in the comment section below if you're watching the replay of this live, because I love seeing feedback, and I'm going to reply to these messages and these in the comment sections. We're going to continue to grow this channel together. Merchandise coming soon. Okay? Don't worry about nothing else. Just know that I got 3 words for you. I'm going to leave y'all with the 3 words. Y'all already know what those 3 words are. And before I leave you with it, let me thank you again for your viewership and coming along to the channel. Thank you. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape